Miracles, please do take notes. What we're going to start off today here is just a recap over the last 2 or 3 workshops to bring everybody up, speed up to date. Okay, so for the first hour or so I'm going to fly through this, but the videos are going to be on YouTube, so if anybody then wants to, there'll be a lot of information very quickly. So if anybody wants to then, if you think that you're missing something, you can go back to the videos and take your time and you can pause it and look at it and so on, because when we're doing these videos, it's important. I got to try to get as much information as possible. One of the reasons why A Course in Miracles seems to be so difficult to pass and such a difficult book to understand is because every paragraph that you read in A Course in Miracles is written on a level. And there's 7 levels within A Course in Miracles. There's 7 levels of consciousness. Each level has its own consciousness. So here we are in the world. Okay, the world of bodies. So there are 3 parts to the world. There's the world itself, or attachment to the world. There's the body that's in the world, and then there's the mind that operates that body and its interactions with the world. And that mind could be called the unconscious mind. And it's unconscious because it's between the ego wrong mind and the ego right mind. And you have a choice, but you don't have a choice. So those people who are fast and asleep in the world, in the unconscious mind, they have the illusion of a choice. Okay? So, which is really no choice at all, because they're either choosing the ego wrong mind or they're choosing the ego right mind. Okay? But they're still choosing the ego at the end of the day. To move to the next level, okay, is where Jesus talks about in the Course, it's the mind. Okay, it's the split mind. This is the correction for the unconscious mind, which would be the right mind. So here on this level now, for the first time, you're actually making true choices. Okay, you're making real choices. So, for example, someone on this level would be saying, right, I am guilty. Someone on this level now would be saying, I am guiltless. So that will lift you up to that level. Okay? Then the 5th level of consciousness will be really, where 2 become 1. When Jesus is talking about you and your brother, this is the level that he's really talking about. It happens here, but here there is only really 2 of us at this level. Okay? So it's you and your brother. This also would be the level of the persona, and you'll hear him talking about your shadow. Okay? And we did that in the last group here. If we have time, I'll just quickly go over it in the second half of the program. Then you'll see Jesus talking in the Course, he'll talk about the real world. Okay, he'll talk about Christ. He'll talk about the sonship. This is the level that he's talking about. All right? And then when you see him talking about knowledge, when he's talking about truth, when he's talking about heaven and God, he's talking about this level. All right? So you can see, if you can break the Course down, in any one chapter, he could be talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different levels. Okay? And this is why people get confused. Another thing you get confused, at the beginning of the Course, he talks a lot about many sons. He's talking about this level. Then at the end of the Course, he's talking about one son. He's talking about this level. So you can see, if you can just basically get an understanding of the levels that he's talking about, you'll avoid the confusion. Okay? So, again, there's 7 stages of awakening. And you'll see that everything ties in with everything. Okay? And that means what we're really awakening up from, we're awakening up on levels of consciousness. Yeah? So, again, you have 3 here at the bottom. You can call it the 3rd dimension. So what is the 3 levels here? Because we have to work our way up from the bottom. Okay? So here, again, we'll go back to the world. Yeah? So, what we're doing is the world has got a consciousness. Okay? And we, on this level, are tied into that consciousness. We believe the world's real. Yeah? And also, we believe the body's real. And also, we believe that we're making true choices. So those are the 3 elements that's a part of the world. So, for us to move up to the next level, all right, we have to lose our attachments to this level. Okay? So that means our attachment to the world has to be transcended. Next happens, our attachment to the body must be transcended. And then finally, the undoing of the unconscious mind. So if you look at the development of trust, Jesus says, there's three parts that we have to do the work. No one else can do the work for us. The first part is the undoing. So we undo our attachment to the world, we undo our attachment to the body, and we undo our attachment to the unconscious mind. So, just to give you an idea, to see how, it's very hard to say, or find out if you're attached to the world. So let's look at that, okay? Or the body. So let's just pretend that Jesus walks through this door here now, all right? And he's standing here in front of you, and he says, okay, those who are ready, come with me now. How many people would stand up and walk out that door with them, knowing that you're about to leave the world?
You were saying, Jim.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Now, the first thing people think, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do that. Oh, I have to say this to this person. I have to say that to that person. That's not really the truth what you're doing here. What you're really doing is you're rationalizing you don't want to go. You're saying, I do want to go, but I have things to sort out first. So when Jesus comes back and says, all right, sort it out. Well, why are you waiting? Whatever you have to do, do it. Whatever you have to say, say it. Because as long as you stay attached to the world, attached to the body, all right, you're keeping the unconscious mind alive. It's very hard for you to let go of the unconscious mind when you're still attached to something in the body or something in the world. So this is where confusion, irritation, a lot of things come up with people. Is because they're trying to undo the unconscious mind while still attached to either the body or still attached to the world. Okay? Does this make sense? Yeah? So, in this instant, I was all aware that they're attached to something in the world. There was only 4 people who was going to walk out this door with me. Alright? So those who have not made the decision to walk out the door, alright, you have a decision to make. Do you sort out your attachments now, or do you sort out your attachments later? And I want to make something very, very clear to you here now, right? All attachments are addictions. There's no difference between you being addicted to heroin and you being addicted to going to the gym. There's no difference in you being an alcoholic and being, say, addicted or attached to buying clothes, to having certain makeup, to having certain types of men or women. They're all attachments, they're all addictions. And you know why? That's a big statement to say. Okay, do you know why? Okay, there's no hierarchy of illusions. Isn't that right? Yeah. And what is the first miracle principle? There's no order of difficulty in miracles. So that means that it's just as easy to, heal your attachment to going to the gym as it is to heroin or clothes, to alcoholism or whatever. Yeah. Now, what you're really trying to do here is get to this level. Okay. So, if, for example, right, say you're drinking heavily, okay, and you're doing a Course in Miracles, what you're really doing is you're tying 2 cement blocks onto your feet, and you're holding yourself down while another part of you is trying to go up. So what Jesus says in the Course is, you have to look at this honestly, all right, because you're in this state of conflict, because a part of you is attached to either the body or the world, and the other part of you wants to be enlightened, wants to go home. So it's like you're being stretched. And in that conflict, all right, there's going to be a lot of fear, a lot of judgments, a lot of hate, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. You see where I'm going from on this? Okay. So it's very important, you must make a decision. And the decision is, right, stop doing and going into the mind, and do whatever you want to do in the body. Or else that stop what you're doing in the body and go into the mind. Because you're going 2 different ways. At least when you're fast asleep, you're going one way, straight down. and you're going to be more happy. You're going to have a hangover a lot of the time, like, you know, but you're going to be more happy, and this is why people are happy in the world sometimes. You know, that's not doing A Course in Miracles. That's because they haven't got this state of conflict in their minds. They're not one part of them trying to do something and the other part still trying to do something here. Does this make sense? Yeah. So, really, these are the three levels. Okay, this is level 1, like I talked about, the unconscious mind. This is level 2, with the ego and the right mind. Remember, the right mind is the correction for the wrong mind. And up here is the level 3, okay, this is the one-mindedness. This is you being the observer. Okay, here, you're the thinker. Here, you're the unconscious thinker. But up here, you're the observer of the thinker. Ken Wapnick used to talk about above the battleground. Has all heard that? This is what he's talking about. Why isn't it above the battleground? What?
You don't need to make a choice up there. You're identifying with
What? What makes you the observer? One attribute more than anything else. Come on.
You have to detach from your ego to some degree.
How? What is the two?
non-judgment.
No. Right, okay. Right, Mike.
Without
Let's do the three levels then, alright, okay. Okay? Right. This is the level of the judgmental mind. It's unconscious. Okay? Now we're aware we're all going to be really holy people, so we can't be judgmental. Alright, so what's the first thing we turn to? To be non-judgmental. Alright, so here we are at this level. What we get above the battleground without judgment. Okay, so nobody got 10 marks. Alright? This is the big difference on this level. This is why you're above the battleground. And I'll show you after the break under the laws of cause and effect why that is so. But on this level, so kind of let's look at it here to give you an idea where am I at. Because it's kind of like if you're stuck in Athlone and you're trying to get to Dublin, but you don't know you're in Athlone, can you get to Dublin? No. Well, that's like the lottery. Okay, so it's very important to know where you're at and then work from where you're at. Because if you don't know you're in Athlone, you could end up in Cork, you could end up in Donegal. You know, you could end up in Alaska by some miracle or choice you're okay. So it's very, very important that you know where you're at. So which level are you on? Let's find out. If you're seeing the ego in other people, and you're not recognizing that it's your own ego, that you're saying, oh, you should see the ego in that boy. Alright? You're on level 1. Okay. If you can look and see the ego in someone else and say, that's my ego, you just come up to level 2. If here you're seeing the guilt in someone else and you're rationalizing that guilt and saying they're guilty. I see what you're doing and they're guilty. That's not forgiveness. That's unforgiveness. What is forgiveness is the guilt that I see in you is my guilt. It's my projection. You have just lifted yourself to level 2. Okay? Again, say, if you even perceive yourself to be guilty, if you perceive yourself to be sinful, if you perceive yourself to be fearful, okay, you're on this level. If you perceive yourself, right, I am sinless, even though you don't believe it, okay, at that instant, if I say I'm sinless, I'm guiltless, okay, I'm oneness, you're lifting yourself up to this level all the time. So it really is about the levels that you're bringing yourself up to. Okay, and then there's level 3. Okay, level 3. Each of these levels has its own laws of cause and effect. All right. So what that means is, say, I have some way see myself to be special in some way. Okay, right? That takes me into this level. All of a sudden now, because of that one thought, sin, guilt, fear, all happen automatically. All happen automatically. This is the laws of cause and effect. It's throughout the whole separation on every level. Again, let's say, you know, the guilt I see in you, it's my guilt. that produces cause and effect. The cause is, right, it takes me up to here. And the effect is, I'll have more peace in my mind. I perceive myself to be guilty. The cause will take me down here, and the effect is going to be a lot of fear. Okay? Annoyance, irritation.
So your feelings are like in that indicator?
Yes. Okay? Like Jesus says in chapter 8. Discomfort is arose within the body for the need to correction to be brought into place. So listen to your body. Your body will tell you exactly where you're at and the choices that you have made. So if you're feeling annoyed, okay, you've landed here. If you're feeling irritated, you're here. If you're feeling agitated, impatient, all of those negative, what would you call them, effects of the ego, you're here. Now there's no way you can avoid them. So the guilt is not the problem. Okay? The annoyance is not the problem here. Feeling pissed off is not the problem. What's the problem?
How you feel about it? How you feel about it?
You're going to feel that way here. You can't. On this level, once you are on this level, you're going to have all of these feelings flooding in. The problem is, what happens then is everybody starts trying to solve the effects.
Rather than the cause.
Yeah, why am I feeling like this? You know, why am I annoyed? Why am I agitated? Why am I feeling so lonely? On this level, you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel aloneness. You're going to be despondent. You're going to feel despair. So what people do, you know, it's like you have a headache, all right? And you keep going to the doctors, all right? And the doctor keeps giving you a tablet. You're never getting to the cause. The tablet is healing the effect. So what I see, and a lot of people who are doing A Course in Miracles, is they're going around healing effects all the time without ever healing the cause. If you don't get to the cause, the effect is always going to keep popping up all the time. It's like when we were younger, right? Pimples. You know, one will be here, one will be here, one will be here, one will be here. Do you know what I mean? Like, and here we were getting this cream and squeezing this one, doing this, and all of this, like, you know, and it was, you know, it seemed like for years, like, you know, you're having this battle with yourself.
So it's probably at that level that you're most likely to keep looking outside to fix
Yes,
your
you're always,
symptoms.
yes.
Yeah.
And then what you're going to happen at this level, you're going to turn to the body. Okay? You're going to judge the body. You're going to judge the world. You're going to look to the world then to solve the problem. I'm lonely. I have to find someone. You know? So, what is the cause?
Your thoughts.
Choice. Choice.
What you're choosing.
You have made a decision, okay, to perceive yourself wrongly. Okay? So that means you could have chosen any of the primary thoughts that will take you to this level. I am guilty. I am sinful. I am fearful. Okay? I am special. I am unique. I am individual. All of those will take you into that level. And all of a sudden you're in that level, and now all of the effects comes into play. Annoyance, irritation, everything else. So when you listen to your body and you are not in a good place, okay, go to the cause. And like I say, we'll be doing cause and effect after the break. Okay, so what we're all trying to do here is get to this level. You can't jump from here to here. You can only transcend what you know. So here, if you look at the Course, throughout the Course you see right-mindedness. Okay, this is what he's talking about, level 2 teachings. Okay, so that's what takes us out of hell. Okay, I am sinless. I am the Son of God. I am perfection. You know, these are just words at the moment. But these words will turn into thoughts. Thoughts turn into beliefs. Okay?
Because I don't believe any of that.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't, because you, in this level, okay, all right, you have had a long, long time ingrained within each of every one of us a belief that we're sinful. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. A belief that we're separate. That is the sinful thought. I am separate. Everything else stems from that. And that's in there, and it's unconscious within us. So it's that unconsciousness that we need to bring to the surface.
Right.
So,
because you could be saying, I'm guilty, I'm sinful, and I'm all this. But then you can turn that around and say, I'm guiltless, I'm sinless. But you can still think it's having no effect. Are you saying that if you keep saying it, keep doing it,
it
keep
has an
saying,
effect.
I'm guilty,
It has an effect.
Just keep at it. Keep at it.
Our default system is set with unconscious beliefs that were separated. Okay? Everything streams from that one thought. Okay?
What I'm doing.
The guilt comes from it. Okay? The fear comes from it. The projections then will all stem from this. It's under the laws of cause and effect. All right? So what we need to do is we need to turn this around.
Just keep saying the positive.
Yes. Yeah. And that brings you to this level.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, what I'm doing at the moment is, it just came to me there last week, I am Christ. I am Christ. Oh, no matter what's coming in front of me, I'm saying I'm Christ.
But that will basically
turn into a belief.
That will basically institute cause and effect. Because now you're associating yourself with the Holy Spirit's cause and effect. The ego has cause and effect, which takes you down into hell. The Holy Spirit's cause and effect takes you out of hell.
If we're saying it's just words, if we're not believing it, you know.
But this is what I'm saying to you, right?
That
Here,
to believe.
the reason on this level, okay, you won't believe it. Okay? But what's going to take you to this level is even those words, even though like Jesus says, right? What's the way he says that no small, you sent me a text, right? No small effort is ever wasted. Okay?
So you just keep on pounding it into I
It's
am.
a correction. And
Keep at
remember,
it.
yeah, and remember, the ego right mind is an illusion also.
Because you compare it to a child when they keep doing something, you say, no, don't do that, and eventually they get it.
Yes. And remember, this started
Okay.
off, and you know, he calls this spiritual teaching a course. He talks about the classroom. He uses the teacher. He uses the students. Again, what we're doing is being re-educated. Okay, this is a part of the re-education, the reprogramming. You can call it whatever you want. Okay, but you know, there's people who say, "Oh, these affirmations that don't mean anything," but you're affirming your guilt almost every day.
Yeah,
So-
it's one or the other.
Exactly. That's what it is. So even though you don't believe it, it's still taking you out of hell into the right mind. And remember, the right mind is only the correction for the wrong mind. Both will disappear, will dissolve. So we need illusions to correct illusions.
But I think, Michael, as well, that I'd say you probably agree with me here that it's not enough to just repeat those things a few times a day, to keep on and on and on doing it.
But you see,
Yeah.
okay,
If
it
you're-
can, right.
You can say, oh, I'm guiltless, and then you can
But
start
what does that
thinking,
mean to you then?
That's coming from the heart.
Do you know what I mean? And you can say the words, and it'll be words. But if you can turn around and say, right, I am guiltless. If you can let that, it's like your mind is a garden, okay, and you're planting seeds. You have to watch them,
Yeah.
care them, love them. And that means let that thought, what does this thought mean to me? Because when you can hold that thought, I am guiltless, in your mind, all of a sudden, you're embedding a seed in your mind, I'm guiltless. And if you can hold it, give it your full attention, okay? You just watch the effects of that one thought. Don't say this as words,
Oh, yeah, I get that.
okay? It's like, you know, it's like saying, I'm not guilty, on this level. It's only a word.
Well, you need to change your beliefs. You
Well,
need to change them.
You see, that's what this level is.
We're at that level.
Yeah, at this level, you have a set of beliefs.
Yeah.
This is a new set of beliefs.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, you look at it this way, right? And that's what Jesus very cleverly does in the course. Okay? I mean, we have one set of beliefs, and religion reinforces those sets of belief. And it's very funny when you look at the correlations between religion and the ego thought system. Both are identical. They're built upon sin, guilt, fear, and judgment. God's a judgmental God. Okay, those are the beliefs at this level. Don't mess with them. don't try to change them. Just say, okay, that's there. Now I choose to believe a new set of beliefs. You don't go around trying to change other people's beliefs. Again, that's just the ego.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Instead of, it's not just about changing your beliefs, but choosing to change your beliefs before
Don't
you
change
do them.
But don't change them.
Yeah, make the decision that
Yeah,
you're going
don't
to
just say,
change.
right, those are things that I believed and I'm going to create a new set of beliefs. That's what Jesus
Even
said.
though I don't believe them at the minute.
Yes, but ultimately,
Start somewhere.
like I say,
Start somewhere.
I mean, even the beliefs that he gives in the Course of Miracles are not real. They're not true. Because on this level, it's beyond all beliefs. So right-minded beliefs are only the correction for the wrong-minded beliefs, but if we want to get up to this level above the battleground, it's beyond all beliefs.
Are you saying that if you start to say, well, I can decide what to believe, you're lifting yourself a bit out of the chaos? Because
Yes.
you are
There is a
you're getting
Yes.
closer to
Cost
reality
effective.
by realising that you can
Yeah.
manipulate the brain.
Yeah, and even you saying the words right, I'm sinless, okay, has an effect on you. But if you can sit with that thought, I am sinless, and let it germinate, even in your meditations, just
Well,
watch
then you
it
have
grow.
the voice when they say, no, you're the kid.
But you know who it is.
You know who
So
it
now
is.
you have a choice. Which am I going to believe? Because that's cause and effect. When you choose to be sinless, the ego, all right, you trigger off a cause and effect. Okay, now the ego has an effect. Hold on a minute, you're not sinless. Because head wants you, head's programmed for you to believe his beliefs. The Holy Spirit's saying, well, here's another set of beliefs for you. But the ego has a defense up that says, okay, if you're going to believe this, I'm going to convince you that you are guilty. Do you know what I mean? So this is where you come in the middle. All right.
This is a huge thing.
This is the true work in A Course in Miracles, is your willpower to do this. Because there's a part of you that doesn't want to do it, and there's a part of you that does want to do it. So you have to make the decision, like Jesus says, you can't ride two horses at the same time. If you're sitting neither, believing neither, you're really, do you know what I mean? You're like a boat that's out in the ocean, rudderless. You're going to be blown here, there, and everywhere. You have to say, right, make the statement to yourself, right, this is the path that I'm on, and I'm going to stick to this path. This is what I believe about myself, and I'm going to reinforce this to myself. It's like the inner sanctum, okay? It's like a big castle. And there are thousands of doors into it, okay? And what I see a lot of people, especially during the Course of Miracles, they'll go up and they'll go to another door, and they'll go to another door, and they'll go to another door, and they never open any door. And what we're really talking about is some people are doing this book, go to a different book, go to a different book, go to a different teaching, go to Buddhism, go to Hinduism, go to whatever. But nobody ends up doing anything. Okay, that's resistance. That's fear. All resistance is fear. Okay, so what I'm saying to you, no matter what you're doing, there's no wrong paths. Some paths are quicker than other paths. Okay, so let's say if you are very, very fearful, okay, you will find the path that's right for you, but stick to it. The worst thing you can do is stop and change, stop and change, stop and change, stop and change. So whatever book that you're doing in A Course in Miracles, whatever the color of it is, whatever you're doing, there's no wrong books. Okay, some books are different. Okay, because the level and the depth you're going to in that book is different, but it's no better and it's no worse than any other book. But just whatever door you're going to, stick to that door. Okay? Any other questions on that?
Sorry. You see the way you have level 1, 2, and 3 teachings here.
Yeah.
Do they relate to the 7 levels that you were talking about earlier on the other charts?
Yeah.
So is level 3 here, level 3 on the other?
No.
Okay, so that's
Okay.
kind of.
Just stick to what's in front of you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
so
stop comparing.
Yes.
All right. The one thing I want to do, right, just to give you an idea of level 3 quickly, all right, it's the mind that's without judgments. And as we'll see after the break why that's so important, why that saves you a lot of hassle, that's why you're above the battleground. It's beyond all beliefs. And when I say to people like, God doesn't want you to believe him, People do the course go, what? What? You can't say that. You can't say that. You know why they say that?
Because he wants you to experience.
Beliefs are restricted.
Because you see, the image that I have of God is not the same image that you have of God. Everybody puts God into a box. They have an image of Him, a concept of Him. And if you do that with God, you'll never know God. Jesus says, and I'm telling you, right, God doesn't want you to believe Him. He wants you to know Him. Okay? All beliefs are limited. And if you're trying to put God into a limited concept, then you're never going to know Him, because you're always going to have this image, this belief about Him. Okay? God is limitless. And, God means something different to other people. You can call it source. Some people can call it goddess, the universe, whatever you, truth, knowledge, whatever, okay. But whatever image that's in your mind, okay, of whatever it is, right, that will, to go up through these levels, to move above the third level, all right, and to stay on this level, it is beyond beliefs. All beliefs. And that means you can't, say, if you have a belief about God, then you're going to hold on to the belief of sin. You're going to hold on to the belief of guilt. Okay? And then you're going to be back on level 2, because now you have a conflict of beliefs. Okay? When Ken Wapnick talked about above the battleground, okay, he talked above all beliefs, because it's your beliefs that's the problem. There is no guilt. There is no fear. It's only the beliefs that has to be undone. And I'm going